always been your dream to come on the Your Mom podcast?
Yeah.
Ever since I heard about it.
Yeah, you know what? Now you can go home and go to bed. You don't
Yeah.
need to get up anymore.
You don't
Like,
even
hey,
need
Mom,
to-
guess what? I've been on that show, too.
Yeah, screw you, Mom.
Welcome to Your Mom. Your Mom Podcast. Your Mom's Podcast.
This isn't any podcast. This is your mother's podcast.
My Mom's Podcast.
Nah, dude, she's your mom.
With Ashley Addison and Lisa McCaffrey.
Your mom is a podcast. Shut up, dude.
Welcome to Your Mom, Jake Plummer.
Yes.
I feel like you've got big shoes to fill because your mom, Marilyn, was absolutely amazing on the podcast. So good.
Yes.
I'm just going to say she set the bar very, very, very high. And Dan Futrell.
Futrell, yeah.
I knew I was going to get it wrong.
Nice.
Dan
Nice,
Futrell.
Ashley.
I know. Head of Pat Tillman Foundation. And a Pat Tillman Scholar yourself, 2011? Okay, and you guys are doing some amazing work, which we're going to talk about. But I just want to, first and foremost, tell me about your Super Bowl radio row experience. Everything going well so far?
It's been a lot of fun. I was down here yesterday, too, for a while. And so back again here to join up with people doing the real work. You know, like Dan is doing stuff to carry on a legacy that's worth remembering. And then to just be here to see what it's like. This is a powerful place, you know, the NFL and Radio Row. So it's always fun to see other people. I saw Shannon, got to give him a big hug, and that always is, I feel so good. You know, after we leave the game, it's always great to see an old face.
Absolutely. And what's it like being around with, how did you get first connected with Jake? When did you meet him?
This is the first meaningful time that we've actually met. I think we met briefly a couple years ago at Pat's Run, but this has been great. There's a lot of good energy here, and it's been fun to see you running into old friends, and what's up, what's going on, man, and just seeing that. So there's really good energy here. It's good to be a part of it.
Amazing. Tell us what you guys are doing.
We're a foundation. We're supporting veterans and military spouses who are going back to school. We call ourselves a scholarship and a leadership development organization. What that means to us is every year we get to select 60 Tillman Scholars, help support their education financially, but more importantly, they're a Tillman Scholar for life. And so that means they're part of a community of now over 800 Tillman Scholars who are trying to make a positive impact in the world in a variety of different ways. We also support them with leadership development training. So the average age that they get selected at is just under 30. We got a lot of life left, a lot of growing left, and we want to support that in all that they're doing.
When you talk about keeping Pat Tillman's legacy alive, and it's someone who you had such a close connection with and that you knew on such a personal level, what has it been like to see over the last several years since he's been gone, the way that his legacy is being carried out by so many people?
Yeah, it's interesting to see because, it'd be nice to see and get an opinion of how Pat sees it. Does Pat like how it's evolving, or what does he feel about it?
And I guess that's at the heart of the question, too.
And I don't know. I would not be able to answer for Pat. I rarely ever will speak for what I think he would say or feel about something because I may be way off. Because he really had a different way of thinking about things. But I love to see the legacy carried on, and I love to see the progression of making the world better and helping people achieve their goals or even strive to be better. And that's really what Pat always did. As a teammate, he pushed you because he only had one speed. It didn't matter if it was a walkthrough, a practice, or the game. Similar to me and others that we bonded together on some pretty special teams. So to see his legacy carried on in the right light, to again get young people that have served our country and give them the opportunity to go be great again. And I think athletes and military have a lot of similarities, and we compare the game of football to a war and a battle, and it's really not. It's a game. It's a game. Yeah, it's a game. When real life or death comes to the military, we all come out of it affected in our own ways, and so to give them the opportunity to be Tillman Scholars, to carry on and go pursue their goals and dreams and ambitions, and live in the light of Pat, who was like, I knew he was going to come back. He didn't make it back. But what I miss the most is what would he have done next? Like what was like, I've been wanting to do this, I'm gonna do this, and then he did it. And so he really motivates me as a man and as a human to just be about it, say something, go do it, and go live life to its fullest.
And to that point, you are doing that.
Yeah.
So
I haven't this whole entire existence of 48 years. There's been lulls where I haven't, but it's like to have someone like that to have remembered and go, okay, I want to. He's inspirational.
I love that.
Yeah.
So and tell us what you're doing now, because I love what what you guys have cooking.
This is, I'm shaking up the status quo, I like
Yeah.
to say. And, when everyone's talking about the game, we get to come talk about Pat and the foundation and what really the people doing the work. And so what we're up to with the people I've met and teamed up with, Dale Jolly, who I knew from Charlotte's Web, when we were advocating for hemp and educating people on the difference between marijuana and hemp. We kept in touch and we decided to start a mushroom company, and Rashad Evans, who's a former UFC Hall of Famer, he's part of that team. And we both went through, being athletes, going to battle, we went through that. We damaged our bodies. We put ourselves through a lot of stress. Our spirits were pushed to different levels and squashed sometimes. So we've come out to really realize the benefits of functional mushrooms, what they're doing for us as we continue to, you can't fight aging, it's going to happen, but can you do it gracefully? Can you find ways to live more vital lives and think about your longevity and actually just do things good for your body? And so that's what we're trying to do with UMBO, bring light to that and have a cause behind it, really, be a cause-driven brand to really help people achieve, again, something similar to what the Pat Tillman Foundation do. Like, you have a belief or a dream, let's help you get there. And everybody would like to be healthier, live longer,
and feel better.
And feel better, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, the people there to serve us, Western medicine, maybe not be doing the right thing. And if they, not saying all Western medicine is bad, but let's make sure you are aware of what's out there and the possibilities that nature is providing for us. So, again, an opportunity to bring an entire kingdom. I call it a queendom because I feel like mushroom is mother, and ushering it back to let's start my education on this. I'm learning every day more and more about it, but I want to share this with people who are like, mushrooms, will they make me trip out? No, they're in REI. These are legal. It's functional. It's been used in Eastern medicine for centuries. So to share that message and bring that to somebody and then have the response back of like, man, I feel so much better. It really is it's really a gift to have.
And is there a connection and a crossover between these two communities that you're talking about? Because it feels like the veteran community, there is a lot of healing and wellness that needs to take place.
I would say there's, in the cause, absolutely. Not formally connected to UMBO, but the work that you're doing, 100%. We have scholars who are studying how mushrooms can be healing for a variety of things that are unique to the veteran community. We were talking earlier, we have a scholar who is an integration coach, which is helping people to experience mushrooms in a therapeutic sense and to resolve whatever they might be working on. We have scholars, right now, psilocybin specifically is getting a lot of attention as having a lot of potential for addressing some of the things that veterans are going through, and scholars are absolutely on the front lines trying to figure that out in a medical sense and in an otherwise therapeutic sense.
Yeah.
You don't do psilocybin, right?
Psilocybin.
Psilocybin.
Our UMBO is focused on functional legal mushrooms.
Right.
Me personally, I do psilocybin.
Do you do regularly, like microdose
I
every day?
microdose when I need to, and I've sat in ceremony, and I understand that.
And have you done heavy doses of it? And do you ever have a bad trip? How do you control that?
There's chances to have a bad trip. I've had some moments that were very challenging and dark, but as we say, there's no such thing as a bad trip, because you're learning every time you go into it, and it was scary at first to become open to receive what the message was from this organism's been around for forever.
Right. No, there's
since
a
the beginning of
documentary
time
on it that we recently watched.
And
it
I
was
call
fascinating.
it, it's your mom podcast, and I really feel like at some point there was a spore that landed on Earth that began to spread and grow everything that we are now in existence with, and that's far out there for some people to think about. But I'm also, I want people to know there's possibilities here from nature that can counterbalance things that we're dealing with, or creating in our own labs, or creating in factories that we don't have a chance to say, no, I don't want to breathe that air. We're just forced to breathe it. So if these things can help us filter that out, get rid of our bodies of any antioxidants, very strong antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, make us feel better, boost our immune systems, and I think we're ready to face these challenges we may face down the road that we have no choice but to be forced to face. And
Right.
so there's a lot going on.
And it's
we could go
natural.
on and
I
on.
know. I was
here.
just gonna
It's
say. I
really
know that you have
exciting.
to
It's
go. 'Cause
fascinating.
You've got
Well-
more interviews, but I want to. Like, I really actually want to have.
Yeah,
you
we're
back
fascinated
on
by it. Yeah.
To talk
No,
more
it's
about
so
this.
cool because like lion's mane is for your brain, and like cordyceps, what's that one? It's like for
Cordyceps.
energy, right? And like they all so specific. Like nature provided these things for us that we're doing artificially, like with caffeine and like drugs and things, and yet it's at our fingertips naturally, and like it just
So-
seems healthier.
So I say mother, and you say cordyceps are good for energy, but we're finding out they do way more than that. There's like we're building the database of what these things can do for the people. And it's like why I call them mother, because what does mother do? She doesn't just vacuum, she doesn't
Right.
just make dinner, she does everything.
Right.
You know, she takes care of the kids, the partner, the house. I mean, it's a special thing to be into and to share with, and there's a lot of people very interested because
Yeah, it's
everybody wants to feel better and function
absolutely.
better
No,
and
every
live
article
longer,
I see,
right?
I read, I'm like obsessed with it.
I
I'm
go
like,
so
this
far as
is
to say these guys on Sunday won't be performing at their peak levels because they don't have this in their systems.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that's really what I believe in. So
So what you're saying is you're going to come back for the 49ers and help quarterback
I
them,
would
right?
love
next
to
year?
come back and be. I'm a professional holder. People forget I am a
Oh, that's
professional
right.
holder. I'll come hold if they
That's
need a
fine.
holder.
That would
and
be the best.
there is
Let's
a
make that
crossover
happen.
with the vets and what we're doing. You know, like
Yeah.
the psilocybin is having
Yes.
a lot of really strong results in helping some people suffering badly from life or death
PTSD,
situations to come back to the root of who they are and come back into society.
I will tell
Right.
you, my brother-in-law was a Marine Raider, and he has, I'd say within the last 3 or 4 years, really discovered, and it has changed. He said it's
Yeah.
rebuilt his brain.
It's beautiful.
And it's beautiful. And he
Yeah.
said one of the hardest parts is that he's got a lot of the guys that he served with. They've either committed suicide or they are dealing with horrible depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts. And he said, it's about spreading the message and getting them to understand what these are, because there's a stigma still attached to it, certainly. If people
Thank you,
want to
Nixon.
find out, yeah, no
Yes.
kidding.
Great,
there's
Nixon.
great. Have you seen the I think it's a documentary. I think it's on Netflix about it.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's that.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
a
we're
political reason
going
that it
on
got
what,
squashed.
Right.
Yeah, it's
50 years ago. Let's
Right.
evolve. We
I
need to
know.
evolve.
What's the last thing I'll ask you? What's the one thing that you, in your new journey that you're on and right now and everything that you've discovered since you've been out of the league, what's the one thing that you wish you had sort of known back in your playing days when you were in the NFL? If you could go back and tell younger Jake.
I guess maybe know that football would be over at some point, and I'd have to have something that I'd be passionate about. It would have been great to have known about fungi back then. I mean, I knew about them, but I didn't really research or dive into it. I don't know how long I would have played or how my body would have felt coming out of the game with having these beautiful organisms there to help me. But I guess mainly it's just knowing that it would actually end and I'd have to become human again and like. But it hasn't been a huge, hasn't been a horrible transition. There's been moments of darkness and times. I mean, where Junior Seau was a really tough one to swallow and to figure out like, wow, what is this? What's going on? And then now just the narrative that's set for these players to leave the game to and to look forward to isn't very pretty. What we're telling them they're going to have, or like, oh, he's suffering, he's got CTE. Like, he's still alive. How do we know this? Like, let's not be so such victims to what's here. Let's try to do something to reverse that, to change that. And similar to the motivation behind what you're doing is let's get humans that want to excel.
Right.
Let's give them those opportunities. And so we're definitely linked, and we'll be linked for a long time because of Pat. And we're here to just help people live better lives.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
it.
that. And shout out to your mom,
Yeah.
Marilyn,
My
who
mom.
is
Oh,
just,
the best.
she is the best.
Wouldn't
She
be here
sent
without her.
Yeah, she sent Lisa.
She sent me the most beautiful email the night before the Eagles game, because I think Ashley told her I was so nervous and whatnot. Oh my gosh, she sent just the most gracious, wonderful, and it calmed me down and it put me in the right place, and I walked in the game fine. I didn't mind that I was just getting yelled at.
Christian was like, I was so bummed when they
sweet.
lost the quarterback. I could see I could see it coming out of him, and he wanted it so bad. And I was just like, he played such a beautiful
Thank you.
game.
You're nice. You're nice.
I grew up in Santa Clara. I'm a 49ers fan,
good.
and I was watching that game, and my heart was breaking because what a great team they had this year.
They had such a good. They're next year though. They're not
Yes,
losing
yeah,
too many.
yeah.
I know.
Yep.
Let's
Good.
move forward.
Let's keep it
We gotta-
together.
We'll
Let's keep it
throw some
together.
mushrooms at
That's
them and let's go.
You know,
Let's go.
and I think he said too. He said like, I want both teams to lose.
I know. Yeah. He's not bitter though. Not at all.
That
He's not competitive.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
I
fine.
laughed
Doing
at
all
that
right.
one.
Well, that was
Yeah.
the best part. Lisa went around media day and asked all the players what her son is a big, plays football, loves football. What does he need to do to get to the Super Bowl? And so she got a lot of good advice from her.
They didn't know I was Christian's mom. They're like thinking I'm talking about my 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Like his dream is to play in the Super Bowl. What does he have to do? Give me a Right?
But so it's good. So now we know.
Montage and
Yeah.
send it to
We're gonna let them. We're gonna have
Now
Kyle
he
play that in
knows.
the
Now
locker
he'll
room.
know how to do it
Oh, that's
next
good.
year.
Oh,
Good tips,
that's
good
good.
tips.
It's about hard work and it's being the
Putting
team first. So.
Yeah, so now he knows.
Watch out,
Stick
these
to it.
these
You need to
ladies.
stick to
Watch
it.
out. You're changing the game down here.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much. We love
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Always good to see you.
Jake,
Yes.
love you. You're the best, man.
Thank you.